Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. This is a little deja vu video for you. We have Johnny discussing Greg and Victoria. Greg Grippo and Victoria Fuller. Their relationship is just about at the 1 year mark. And Johnny, of course, had a disaster of a breakup last Bachelor in Paradise after proposing and being engaged to Victoria. So we're going to share everything he has to say in this Us Weekly interview. They have a shiny new studio. My studio is under a little bit of construction today, so we're in and out of it. But over here, we're going to share what Johnny has to say. It's interesting. He said, I've matured a lot, and he shared a little bit of insight about what it was like, and did he think they were going to last, and whatnot. So I'm going to play that full 3.5 minute clip for you. I'll have all of that for you, and then I'm also going to share, actually, let's jump to it right now. Here's a clip of our newest Bachelor, Joey, and this is Joey at the U.S. Open. We know Joey's obviously a tennis pro, so they're getting him in at the U.S. Open. Here's what he had to say when Good Morning America caught up with him on the red carpet.
Hey, Good Morning America. How are you doing? It's Joey. I know I'm now the Bachelor, still getting used to that, but I'm excited to be here tonight just to, watch a sport I love. Really excited to see Djokovic, to tell you the truth. Hey, Good Morning America. How are you doing? It's Joey. I know I'm now the Bachelor.
All right, okay, then it goes on repeat, but here's a better TikTok. This was taken by I Love Gluten _ and it says, good night. I would say night, but I'm staring at Barack Obama and Joey the Bachelor sharing a row at the U.S. Open. Let's go to this clip here. So there they are. There's old Joey ball games right there. And then there's old President Barry Obama. So life comes at you fast there, Joey. 1 second you're getting your heart broken in Fiji. The next second, you're hanging out with Barack Obama, former president of the United States of America. And that's why you sign up for the show, right? For the chance to hang out with presidents. Okay, so let's go to Johnny. The title of this article is Johnny DiFilippo reflects on Victoria and Greg drama 1 year after Bachelor in Paradise. He said, I've matured so much. And let's listen to what he has to say right here.
We were good.
Yeah.
Until we weren't.
Until you weren't.
Until we weren't.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Here for the Right Reasons, Us Weekly's Bachelor podcast. I am your host, Sarah Heron, and I am live and in studio drinking an espresso martini made by the one and only Johnny DiFilippo. Johnny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
If you guys can't see us, we are sitting in the new Us Weekly studio with these espresso martinis that Johnny just made.
By the way, the studio looks great. As I said yesterday on the podcast, the audio doesn't sound good. They need to work on whoever's running the audio. Not Sarah's fault, but the lighting of the studio looks pretty nice. I think it's smart for them to have it. And by the way, hello, why don't you guys call me over and we'll maybe preview the next season of Paradise? I'll come to the Us Weekly studio.
If you somehow don't remember, Johnny was, of course, on season 19 of The Bachelorette, season 8 of Bachelor in Paradise, and we're gonna dive into some of that, and we're also gonna talk about what you've been up to now, right, Johnny?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got engaged on Paradise.
I did.
We know that.
Yeah.
It didn't last.
No.
It didn't. Do you think getting engaged played a part in any of that? Because there is so much more pressure in the Neal Lane Diamond of it all, the engagement of it all. A lot of couples in Paradise that are quote unquote successful kind of break up on the show and then get back together in real life. I feel like there's like less pressure.
Yeah.
Do you think that played a part in it all, or no? Do you think it would have had the same fate if you didn't get engaged?
Probably the same. In my circumstance, probably the same fate. But yeah, it is a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure, but
From my perspective as an outsider who wasn't there, I think the engagement has nothing to do with this breakup. I think it wasn't going to save the relationship. I don't think it was going to help it. The relationship was just doomed from the start.
when you're there, you're so like in that world, and it doesn't feel like pressure when you're there. It just feels right, and then it doesn't really like happen until you leave, and you're like, oh, I'm engaged. Oh shit, like let's figure this out.
I got to get their phone number. They got to meet my
Yeah,
parents.
like that is so funny. Yeah, we had to write each other's numbers down at the hotel.
Yeah.
And then I got on the plane and I got a text and it was like, why haven't you texted me yet, fiance?
Oh God.
And I was like, shit, I forgot. I have your phone number. Like it's
And thus it begins. And as I always say, this is when the relationships actually start. when you leave paradise, when you then have to worry about the logistics of, I mean, everyone's fallen in love at a beach somewhere, right? But then you got to worry about the logistics of working and, oh, you go to the gym. You like to go to the gym. You don't want to hang out with me, and you can see people's jealousies and all the other aspects of a relationship. It's only so simple when it's done on Paradise. Now it's the real world, and all of a sudden, and I'm sure she was joking around, being like, "Why haven't you called me yet, fiance?" But truth is said in jest, right? She's also kind of like, text me back right now. Let's share locations.
It's just so funny. It's just a different world.
It really is.
But it's cool. It's so cool. I enjoyed it. We
Probably.
were good for a little bit. We were good.
Yeah.
Until we weren't.
Until you weren't.
Until we weren't.
What was your biggest lesson from everything Paradise on? It's been like a year now.
Yeah, it has been. I think I've matured so much. You grow so much. You really do. And it's not just a show. It's like a weird therapy session in a way, and you talk about everything in life and what you want and how you want to be treated and how you want to treat others. And it's hard to like pick out negatives. You really do walk away with some good.
Oh wow, that's really
At least
positive.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people may have not, but I did.
So no regrets.
No regrets.
No
Kidding me?
regrets.
No regret.
Okay,
No.
that's nice to hear. I feel like you
Yeah.
don't hear that much.
No regrets. No regrets whatsoever.
Overall, obviously, Victoria ended up with Greg. It was dramatic. Are you surprised they're still together?
Honestly, no. She really liked him, and she still does. She really did, and it took a lot for her to do whatever happened. So she seems super happy about it all, and good. I'm happy she's happy.
Was the last time you spoke to either of them that after the final rose day? Or not after the rose, but after Paradise or whatever it was called, Paradise Reunion?
That was the last time me and Victoria spoke. We had, after the reunion, we had talked for a little bit just about everything that went down, and that was it. We kind of went our own ways, and that's really it.
Now, if you don't remember, this was such a wild year, but if you don't remember, after the reunion, there was an after party, and we found someone's TikTok or Instagram reel that had Johnny and Victoria sort of walking single file, like one after the other, and clearly they were going to a corner to hash it out or have a discussion. It was heated. You can't blame Johnny for feeling like he got slighted. The relationship wasn't going to work out with Victoria either way, but you can't blame him for feeling like there was an overlap and that there was some nefarious activity. Now, in hindsight, it was probably a tough call, like a Sophie's choice almost for Victoria. Here she had this guy, her relationship with Johnny, which clearly wasn't working out. It's not like you leave a happy relationship. You don't leave a happy relationship, but you work on it. And with Johnny, there got to some point, which nobody really ever discusses, about why they broke up in the first place. Like, we're so fixed on her moving on to Greg. Now, did she already know Greg? Yes. Was she probably physically attracted to Greg? Absolutely. Was Greg attracted to her? Absolutely. But that's how it works, right? When you know someone, you don't necessarily cross a line emotionally in most cases, or at least you don't intend to. And then maybe, you get single, maybe, and again, this is all just my speculating here, but maybe Victoria ends things with Johnny, or Johnny ends things with her, whatever. Of course, Johnny didn't think they were broken up, which might have meant maybe they broke up 4 or 5 different times. Maybe every time they fought, it ended with one of those quasi breakups. We've all been in those relationships where someone's like, this is it, I'm over, we're done. And then a day later, you're back together or whatever. So maybe it was like that, but they just never got back together. I don't know. Might have actually been pretty similar to what Tino and Rachel had going on. Johnny's on my list for Driving with Dave, so I'd love to talk to him further about this because, we looked at Tino and he thought in his relationship that's coming out now, as we heard him on Courtney Robertson's podcast, Tino said, I didn't even think we were together when, of course, he kissed someone else. With Johnny's scenario, maybe he was trying to work on things, but maybe they were done. And, it's not up to us to really decide whether or not they were done or not. That's between them to work out. But clearly, with all that said, Greg and Victoria seem to be in a happy place. They just traveled in Italy together, and good for them. Good for them, and Johnny will find somebody. And maybe there was a piece of Victoria that Johnny loved, but maybe, you know how it is. You can't possibly know every sort of aspect of everybody, but when you fall for somebody, there's something you loved about them. And hopefully Johnny can find that in somebody else. We're going to have more content. We have a lot to get to actually today. I'm going to fit in whatever I don't get to on the YouTube on today's podcast. Tomorrow is the Golden Bachelor reveal of the ladies of the show. It's going to be a big one. We have some credible sources that say we've got one of the contestants known. I'm going to share that on today's Bachelor Rush Hour podcast. So go over there and check out all the content we didn't get to today. And we'll be back with more right after this.